There's no doubt. No more waiting. We must drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt.
So we're live here at the Hollywood Star.
We must drive them out. Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt. No more waiting.
We must drive them out.
Trump and Pence are fascists. There's no doubt.
All right. So we refuse fascism, and we're out here in front of Donald Trump's Hollywood Star, and we're here in response to the Robert Mueller investigation. The Mueller investigation diverted, bamboozled, and stupefied people into waiting passively. The TrumpPence regime is fascist and more dangerous than ever. It must be driven from power by the masses of people in mass protests. So, my name is Michelle, and I am a leading organizer of Refuse Fascism. And I'm going to go ahead and introduce Sarah Taylor, who is speaking for Refuse Fascism. She is a writer for RevCom.us and an advocate for BA's New Synthesis of Communism. And she is part of the National Revolution Tour.
All right.
For nearly 2 years, the Democratic Party leadership, CNN, MSNBC, Rachel Maddow, the New York Times, the LA Times, the Washington Post, and others have breathlessly diverted people's attention night after night, diverting, bamboozling, and stupefying people into waiting passively for the Mueller report instead of rising up in the streets in our massive numbers to stop the fascism of the TrumpPence regime. While people have been waiting for Mueller, while people have been waiting for the Democrats, while people have had their attention diverted into every minute detail of the Russia investigation, the TrumpPence regime has been rapidly and aggressively hammering ahead with a fascist program that is endangering the future of humanity. They have passed their Muslim ban. They've whipped up violent and murderous white supremacy. They've packed the courts with fascist judges and remade the courts. They've been eviscerating the norms and civil liberties. They have banned Muslims. They are installing Christian fascism and with wars and nuclear aggression. And now, after nearly 2 years of people waiting, of people being diverted by the Democrats, by MSNBC, into waiting for Mueller to supposedly stop Trump and Pence, the Mueller report has been released. It's not yet public. We don't know all of what's in it. But surprise, surprise, Mueller did not stop Trump. He did not stop. Instead, Trump is feeling vindicated. He is feeling validated. He is puffed up, and he is more aggressive than ever. He is threatening to and calling for investigations into those who spearheaded the investigations against him. The White House is issuing threats against the media, insisting that they not put on air leading Democratic representatives calling for the resignation of Democratic committee chairs. They are lashing out. Steve Bannon said that it's time for Trump to go full animal and to take the results of this report and, quote, bludgeon his opposition. Donald Trump is puffed up, and like Lindsey Graham said, he is stronger than he has ever been in the 2 years of his presidency, and he's on the warpath. This is a major escalation of fascism. And what have the Democrats done? Yet again, they are rolling over, they are legitimizing, and they are collaborating. They are very eagerly trying to change the subject on this escalation of fascism, and instead, yet again, play the masses of people who want and need this fascist regime to be stopped and who need to be mobilized to drive it from power in the name of humanity, to once again bamboozle and play and divert these people into waiting for 2020, into pursuing new investigations in the New York district, into waging a fight that is restricted to insisting that the Mueller report be released, which of course it should be released. But what really needs to be done is people need to be aroused to stand up and go into the streets to stop this fascist nightmare of the TrumpPence regime. So in the face of this major escalation of fascism, in the face of this complete collaboration and capitulation of the so-called resistance of the Democratic Party, there are two things that must be said. The first is, speaking as somebody who is a follower of Bob Avakian and an active revolutionary fighting to make revolution in this country in the name of humanity, it is time for many. What kind of a system puts forward a white supremacist fascist like Donald Trump? A system that was founded on white supremacy and patriarchy in America first. A system out of which this grotesque manifestation of Trump-Pence fascist regime has grown. What kind of a system brings that forward, and what kind of a system brings forward as the so-called opposition, a ruling class party, the Democratic Party, that refuses to oppose this and instead capitulates and collaborates with it, and that fears more, as Bob Avakian has said, is more afraid of the disorder that a struggle from below would cause to drive out this fascism than they care about justice. To the Democratic Party, order is more important than justice, and to them, fascism is preferable than the masses of people in the streets unleashed to drive this out. A system like that is completely illegitimate. No one should accept it, and we do not need to accept it. Most fundamentally, people need to recognize, we got sound now. Most fundamentally, there we go. Most fundamentally, people need to recognize that there is another way, and I am part of the Revolution Tour, spreading the fact that we have a plan and a strategy to make a revolution, to bring about a whole different future. Not the fascist future of Donald Trump, not the imperialist nightmare of the Democratic Party and American imperialism before Trump, but a revolutionary future where we break all the chains, overthrow this system, and bring about a whole different, radically different world. So get into the revolution at revcom.us. Come and learn about this. The second thing I want to say is, whatever you think about this country and its founding principles, whatever you think about the nature of this system, whether you believe, like I do, that we need to make a revolution to get rid of the system that gave rise to Trump, or whether you believe that this country, America, could be made good and could live up to better principles, and you want to fight for that, we need to come together now to recognize that there is not going to be a savior from the Democratic Party. There is not going to be any force in society, no investigation, no politician, no election that is going to stop the fascism of the Trump-Pence regime. That's right. If ever there was a moment to confront that the Democrats are not going to stop this, that Mueller is not going to stop it, now is the moment. They've been telling you for 2 years that Mueller, wait for Mueller time. They've been telling you for 2 years to sit back, to have confidence this regime and this nightmare will be ended, only to deliver nothing for the masses of people and a puffed up, even more aggressive, on the warpath Donald Trump, who feels validated and vindicated. This is an emergency for humanity, and it is time for people to stop being played and stop waiting and get off their couches and out of their illusions and delusions, and to wake up about the harm that this regime is causing, and to see the tremendous responsibility we have to step out in the streets and wage struggle to drive this regime from power. Ultimately, we're talking about millions of people in the streets across this country, in cities and towns, staying day after day, night after night, not stopping until the regime has been removed. Very concretely right now, as this Mueller report is just breaking, as Trump is on the warpath, as the Democrats are telling you to turn your attention to other matters, right now, we are calling on people to come out this Friday, right here at the Trump Star, to be in the streets, to stand up and say, no, in the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. The Trump-Pence regime is more dangerous than ever. The Trump-Pence regime is more dangerous than ever. Only the people can stop this fascist nightmare. We must come into the streets and drive it from power. Everybody who cares about humanity should be out here on Friday and refuse fascism. Speaking for all of us in this organization from diverse perspectives, we challenge anybody to make the case that we are not facing a fascist regime. And if you can't make that case, you need to be in the streets. And we challenge you to make the argument that there is any other force in society, besides the masses of people, besides us ourselves, that can stop this nightmare in the name of humanity. Be in the streets with us this Friday. This nightmare must end. The Trump-Pence regime must go.
That's right.
Yeah.
All we gotta do is vote.
Trump and Pence are fascists.
There's no doubt.
No more waiting.
We must drive them out.
Trump and Pence are fascists.
There's no doubt. No more waiting. We must drive them out.
If you thought Mueller would stop the fascist ruler, you got played. If you thought Mueller would stop the fascist ruler,
You got played. If you thought Mueller would stop the fascist ruler, you got played.
if you've been waiting and spectating,
You've been played.
if you've been waiting
And spectating. You got played.
if you've been waiting,
And spectating. You got played.
All right. So
Well, you have
again,
good vocal capacity. Congratulations.
the Mueller investigation diverted, bamboozled, and stupefied people into waiting passively. The Trump-Pence regime is fascist and more dangerous than ever. It must be driven from power by sustained mass protest by the people. So again, Friday, March 29th, right here at the Trump Star on Hollywood and Highland at 5 p.m. We're gonna rally and march. So I'm gonna introduce Rafael Cadares with the National Get Organized for an Actual Revolution tour.
All right, thank you, Michelle. I'm going to read a statement from the National Organizing Tour for Revolution. The Trump-Pence regime is fascist and more dangerous than ever. The Democrats are war criminals and cannot be relied on. We need to rely on ourselves to drive out this regime, and most of all, we need a revolution. Donald Trump and the whole Trump-Pence regime is fascist. They're openly white supremacists against black people, Latinos, and immigrants. They're openly women-hating and hate LGBT people. They openly treat the rest of the world with contempt and stoke the fires of war. They will bring the hammer down on anyone who opposes them. And right now, because the special counsel decided not to press charges against Trump, they are out for blood. They think it's hunting season, and the masses of people here and around the world are in their sights. They are going after abortion rights. They are going after immigrants' rights and Muslims. They are backing the brutal police 200% against black and Latino youth. They are tearing up the environment like there is no tomorrow. They're going after their own rivals on the top of society, and on and on and on. The Revolution Club says that the people have to resist this. The people have to resist this. And right now we are supporting a mass demonstration on Friday night called by Refuse Fascism to drive this regime out. This is urgent. We can't let these pigs steamroll their way to outright open fascism. The Democrats are not our friends. I repeat, the Democrats are not our friends. Still less can we count on them in any way to deal with this. The Democrats have been bamboozling people not to take to the streets to demand that the Trump-Pence fascists be removed from power. They told us to rely on this Russia investigation. Now they tell us to put our face in the elections. They just want to chill the people out because they are part of the same system. It is urgent. We can't let the fascists steamroll us to fascism. And the Democrats, we cannot let the Democrats derail our struggle for a radically different and better world. And we also say this: we refuse to accept a world where the only choices we're given is between the openly fascist Trump and the war criminal deceiving rivals in the Democrats. We are fighting for revolution. We are fighting for revolution, for overthrowing this whole system and bringing into being something radically better. Everything we do, including being out here on Friday night, is part of fighting for this whole new world and getting to it as soon as possible. This is not just talk. We have the strategy and the leadership to do this. We have the plan for a new society, and we have the determination to make this real. Check out the speeches from Babaveki and the leader of the revolution, both on the threat posed by this fascist regime and on how we can actually make revolution for real. Go to revcom.us to do this, or come to our organizing center on Saturday afternoon. And be sure to join all of us on Friday night, 5 p.m., right here on this Trump Star. Be there to demand the Trump-Pence regime must go. No more waiting, no more spectating. If you got into that, you got played. How does the chant go, Michelle?
If you've been waiting and spectating,
you got played.
if you've been waiting and spectating,
You got played. If you've been waiting and spectating,
you got played. If you've been waiting and spectating,
you got played.
that's right. I see you taking up the chant.
If you thought Mueller would stop the fascist ruler,
You got played.
If you thought Mueller would stop the fascist ruler,
You got played.
Sister,
if you
listen up.
thought Mueller would
Friday.
stop the fascist ruler,
Friday, March 29th, we're going to have a rally and a march right here at 5 p.m.
Okay, just one last time to be very clear. Come on in, y'all. Come stand with me. Come stand with you two. He wants us to stand together. There we go. All right.
Stand to the side.
For everybody at home who has been led and misled for the last 2 years to wait for Mueller. You hated the Muslim ban, but wait for Mueller. You hated the child separation, but wait for Mueller. You hated the white supremacy, but Mueller is coming. Over and over again, the fascism of Trump-Pence has been hammering ahead, and you've been plagued. You've been kept passive. You've been listening to Rachel Maddow, staying home. The report came out, and it hasn't stopped Trump. It is on us, the masses of people. No Democrat, no investigation, no politics as usual is going to stop this fascist nightmare. Come out in the streets this Friday, right here at the Trump Square, Hollywood and Highland, here in Los Angeles, and wherever you can gather across the country. Come out and say no. In the name of humanity, we refuse to accept a fascist America. The Trump-Pence regime is more dangerous than ever. Only the people can drive this regime out. This is our responsibility to be in the streets this Friday. That was all. Is that okay? No more?